So if you look at the 1-3 homework, were there any particular ones that anybody had a question on? Anybody take a look at your 1-3 homework? It's up here on the board. Were there any problems there that anyone had a question on? So take a look. If I leave it and if there's still something, we can come back to it. Let's look at 1-4, the absolute value ones. Were there any problems from there that you had a question on? Yes? 13. So everybody, if you want to open up your 1-4 homework and let's take a look at problem 13. Now, when I take a look at an absolute value equation and I see a variable inside and a variable outside, what I like to do then is I like to remember that I have to check my final answer. Now, when you check it, you want to check it in the original version. Now, we're still going to set up the two cases, the positive case and the negative case, just like we would any other one. So the positive case, just drop the absolute values away and write everything exactly as is. Write the word or, drop the absolute value away on the left side, so that b plus 5. And on the right side, you're making that the opposite of what it was. So it would be negative 2b minus 3, okay? Now, you're just going to solve each one of those things. That's a 3, by the way. You're just going to solve like you would solve any equation. So here, we could subtract a b, and then subtract 3 is one way to go. So we get an answer of 2, okay? So that's one way to solve that one. You can do it a mixture of ways. If we check it back in the original, you want to put it back in the very, 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 very original one that has the absolute value bars in it. So when you do that, if you plug in 2, you get the absolute value of 2 plus 5, or the absolute value of 7, equals 4 plus 3. So you do get 7 equals 7, which is a true thing. So then I go back and kind of circle that to remind me, hey, that one works. Okay, now let's look at the right side. I don't know, let's add 2b to both sides. Again, equations have lots of ways you can do it. Let's subtract 5. Now this one's a little funky because when you get to this point, you get a fraction. Just put that 3 under the 8 and leave it there. The problem is checking it. You know, you have a little bit more work you got to do. But again, this is one you want to check. If you plug in negative 8/3, 5 is 15/3. So if we do negative 8/3 plus 15/3, we get the absolute value of 7/3, which is 7/3. Okay, now that's the left side. If we plug in negative 8/3 into the other side, okay, so that would be negative 16/3. 3 is 9/3. That's negative 7/3. Negative 7/3 does not equal positive 7/3. So that one you would cross out, okay? So make sure that you always set up the two cases, but if you end up with a variable on the inside and a variable on the outside, those ones you definitely have to check. The other ones you can check to just, check your math, but does that help with 13? Make sense? Any other questions from either your 1-3 or 1-4 homework? Any other questions we got before we put these away? Okay.